CGTN's Joy Juma will now take a look at how deaf voters are gearing up for the election after a new list of electoral sign language terms was released.
Mamer Massa Faguer is part of Senegal's deaf community. Through a sign language interpreter, he says voting has always been complicated.
Before, I didn't even understand certain electoral terms. Now with this training and the shared videos, it's a first. Thanks to it, I have memorized the terms in the electoral glossary.
A standardized list of 105 terms in Senegalese Sign Language has been developed by the NGO International Foundation for Electoral Systems in collaboration with local groups. The list aims to help the deaf community understand electoral concepts as they prepare to vote.
Yes, many young deaf people are voting for the first time. With this training, those who are there understood. But there are still a lot of deaf people who haven't received the necessary information. So I am personally going to explain to these deaf people how to vote. I'm going to try to share the videos and explanations I received during the training. Deaf people regularly ask questions about elections.
The fight is to get deaf people active, to include them in all the activities we are carrying out in this country, and to be able to choose their president freely. That's their voice.
Collecting accurate data on Senegal's deaf community is challenging. But Alioune Sow, head of the National Federation of Deaf People Organizations, said they made up roughly 2% of the population in 2022. A large proportion are cut off from voting either because they don't know what to do on election day or there is a lack of interpreters at polling stations.
Information should be accessible in real time clearly for everyone. Everything that's going on, hearing and physically handicapped people have the information clearly and directly on TV. And why not the deaf? But is it because we can't communicate that there's no interface to make the information accessible? We are fighting to have interpreters on TV so that we can get the information clearly and in real time, just like hearing people. That's what we want.
Senegal does not have a uniform sign language. The community uses a mix of local, Arabic and American Sign Language. For the first time in the run-up to a Senegalese presidential election, deaf voters will share a common vocabulary to discuss politics and learn what to do when election day comes. Joy Juma, CGTN.
To discuss the elections in Senegal further, we're joined by Roger Boissy, a political analyst and founder of Global Atlantic Consulting in Dakar. Hi there. Thank you so much for joining us. So there seems to be a lack of clarity when it comes to the date the elections will take place. Will it take place on March the 24th or the 31st?
Hi, Anna. Thank you for having me. So the elections are finally going to take place on March 24th. Which is a good news for our democracy. But as you might already know, the Constitutional Council had previously chosen a different date, which is March 31st. And the reason why they did is because the president had failed to pick a date that is within his mandate and before the end of his term, which is April 2nd. But now that he has decided, accepted to comply, by picking March 24th, the Constitutional Council, they accepted it for two reasons. One is because it is aligned with our Constitution, and two, because it is within his mandate and before the end of his term, which is April 2nd.
So Roger, what happens if none of the candidates secure an absolute majority in the first round? And that's considering President Macky Sall being expected to leave by April the 2nd.
Yes, in that type of situation, of course, there's going to be a second round, which is going to happen 2 weeks from the first one. And the President Macky Sall, the current president, will have to remain in power until the next president is elected.
So when does the amnesty kick in, considering that Parliament has yet to approve the bill?
It's already approved yesterday, and once the Parliament vote the amnesty, it kicks in immediately. But it doesn't mean that the people who are going to benefit from it are going, for instance, the prisoners are going home are going to be released the same day, because they still have to go through a procedure. But the good news is that the process doesn't take too long. So definitely they're going to be benefited from it and, go back to their homes sometime soon.